welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today I'm Eric Martin. How are you, Eric?
Is this the part where I laugh?
You can laugh. You don't have to laugh. It's already in the title, or you can act like a monkey, or whatever you want. But I'm glad you're back. I
I
appreciate you being
know,
back.
man.
Been a
I'm
while.
glad I'm back too. Sorry for, ducking out on you.
For being
You're
busy.
gonna go. That's
No,
okay.
I get it. You're busy.
I've been busy, but I've probably been ducking you too. No, I haven't. I love you, man. You're a good guy.
I know. You've been busy. You've been really busy. You got a lot going on, and I wanted to talk about it. I mean, first off, last time you talked, you were hinting at the Mr. Big thing. And
I know.
and it got out there, and then a while ago, one of your coworkers, Mr. Sheehan, was on, and he also was a little more
Like,
upfront about it because it was closer to the date. It wasn't that long ago he was on, you know.
yeah.
Um, Not as many funny stories as you because his adventure for being silly and your adventure for being silly are two totally different planets. So the idea of you guys being together actually seems even funnier to me. Like the Odd Couple, the dynamic is pretty funny.
He's more mature than I am.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm mature at home, with the kids and all that stuff and the responsibilities of the domestic house cat. But on the road and on stage and then off stage, I'm a little bit more immature than Billy Sheehan. And like he's got great stories too. Oh my
Oh, he
God.
does.
If you were in the inner circle, he's the funniest guy you've ever met in your life. I mean, people through every city, town, country, continent that we've been to, they all know the stories of Billy Sheehan, man. He's like the Tom Sawyer of rock and roll. He's got hilarious stories about his growing up and all this. And some are really incredibly filthy.
That's why we won't get you in trouble by leading you down that road. But he did, like I said, you could tell it was funny, but his sense of humor is just different. As I'm saying, so the idea of having you two guys together seems like it'd be even funnier.
I was when we first got together and I listened to him on the phone. I was like, wow, man, this guy really means business. I mean, he's got a really low. I heard your music and I love your voice and I want you to come down. My dog's barking here. I want you to come down. I met him and the first thing that struck me, I mean, like super intelligent guy, really motivated, had a plan, had a vision of what Mr. Big was going to be. Found Billy Sheehan. Billy Sheehan found Paul Gilbert, and then luck of the draw, Pat Torpey comes in. It just felt like clockwork. But the thing that got me right off the bat, and it sucks to admit it, but because I don't want to like hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but it was the volume, man. When Paul came in and Billy came in, and Pat's kind of a John Bonham too, and he was like louder than shit.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm writing these songs for the band, or I was writing these songs with Billy, and then Paul came in to audition, and then Pat came in audition, and I had this little piano, and I was writing this song, Big Love. We didn't even have the name Mr. Big yet, which is a coinky dink, and I'm how many I got this little piano, and it was all of a sudden plug in. A jet engine sound. It was incredible. And that moment I went, I don't know if I belong in this situation. And I kind of dealt with it, it was fine, but yeah, that scared me right off the bat. But all the guys have such great humor. There, every band has their ups and downs.
Right.
You always hear about it, like you hear about it mostly from the bands that are like doing farewell tours now, like the Kiss and the Motley Crues and shit like that. I mean, I can understand why, hey, look, Kiss has had their great run. I mean, they've done it for years and years.
Oh, yeah.
And people are still going, and that's awesome, for them. But, it is time. Too much controversy in this weird world that we live in right now, way too much controversy and problematic politics and bullshit. I'm just so sick of the negativity as it is. Mr. Big, on the other hand, is going out, on a friendship tour this time. This is fantastic. Everybody loves each other. We've had our ups and downs in the past, but
But
this
that's
is a
life.
this is a good thing, man. They've got great. I was going to say this. I don't know why I skipped around because that's what I do. Paul's got a great sense of humor. Pat was funny. He was really dry. And Billy is just like a Rodney Dangerfield of rock. I don't know if you saw that in your interview
I
with
did.
him.
I did a little bit, yeah. But we were kind of geeking out over like Genesis and Yes and stuff. And
You did Prague Talk. Yeah, he knows all
it just
all-
it evolved. You know how my conversation. I'm like you. I ramble. I just kind of mosey discussion. You know.
I'm
Who
glad
uses
he
that word
liked.
mosey? I'm like
I-
Amish.
I'm glad he likes you. And that's a good sign, man, because I always thought that he thought I was a little, too much of a rambler and my ADD was kicking in. But I'm gonna miss that about the camaraderie of Mr. Big. I mean, the brotherhood was fantastic. When it was good, it was great. I mean, oh my God, all the great accolades that we received over the years and all the tours and thousands of people and
Yeah.
number one hit, you know what I'm saying? It's a gift that keeps on giving. It does keep on
Right.
giving. I can't believe that I'm still being, I can't get arrested in my own hometown in San Francisco, but I can play Istanbul. Anyway.
Well, it's a good song though. It really is though. As far as like it's there's something about it when you do hear it, you don't want to turn it off. There's like a handful of songs that you like from back then. I'm like, I've heard it enough, but now you kind of depends what kind of mood you're in. But that song, I mean, I'm not just saying to you because I'm pretty honest about things, and I'm like, it's quite fresh still to me. I don't know what it is. I think it's because it's more unplugged. I think it's more acoustic. It's more real, and it's not produced like vocally. It's very real and live.
The harmonies are a little. I mean, when we did those harmonies, they were real. I mean, we even got people from the studio that were studio workers, receptionists to come in and clap. It was raw and real.
Yeah.
It sounds a little slick on the recording, but vocally, the way it's played and everything, it does sound it's real. It's not canned and formulaic, And I'm a big fan of that song. But what was I going to say? Oh, let's get back on track.
So we're back with
before the
so
hour.
we're talking. I know. So we're talking with the band. We'll focus on that first before we start to ramble too much. And so this is the Big Finish tour. The big. Well, really,
I thought of that.
Name?
I did. It's stupid.
Right.
I love it.
It is really good. But then while I was sitting here getting ready to talk to you, did you think about the confusion it might cause in Finland? Being the Big Finish tour.
Oh yeah, dude.
There's like three people going. That's such a bad joke. I was just saying it before. It was not a prepared joke. Don't give me too much.
No. I thought of that, and I was waiting for somebody like you to embellish on it.
There you go.
Yeah. A farewell tour. Just kind of sound kind of boring. And I was saying, like how a movie director. We need a big finish. That's what I was thinking about. And
well, it fits. I mean, the album covers though. I mean, the album covers are always very funny and tongue in cheek, and it kind of has to stay with who you guys are.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, that'd be funny if somebody did say that on my Facebook page yesterday, and I didn't get it until just now, in a way, because I thought it was a super corny joke, but the guy goes, "What? No Finland?"
Oh,
and like,
are they serious? Maybe they're being serious. I don't know.
Maybe it's either. Oh, so weird. You play. It says 2023.
Right.
To 24.
Right.
And in Asia and all over Asia, not just Japan. I mean, Japan is very, very important to Budokan's, babe. I just want to say
third and fourth night, right? Probably. And you guys are doing China first.
Yeah, China, Taiwan. I mean, all over Asia, Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore. Anyway, and then it says 24. And there are some posters that say America, Europe, coming and stuff like that. But on this one poster, and everybody just everybody's like, "What? No Alabama?" I mean, come on now, folks, have a little faith.
You'll get there. You will get there. It's. I think it's going to be a big tour for you guys. I think you guys get a lot of add-on dates too. I think it's gonna.
We're not, we don't want to do that, Sean. We don't want to do that. We're blocking out, January, February, March, April, May. So it's
Okay,
going to
so
be,
it's a hard line dates. You're not gonna
no, we're not
extend.
going to, no, we're
You
not doing
sure?
that.
Careful, you say it online out
No,
loud. All right.
I'm pretty sure we even discussed it in 3 conference calls. Okay. It's set in stone
All
that
right.
we're not going to keep going and going and farewelling and,
No, I don't
you know,
mean for like 5 years, like the Kiss Trail. So I mean like if you guys get it like 5 months of dates or whatever, and all of a
mhm.
sudden you get overwhelming success at Madison Square Garden, they want 2 more nights, or as a couple more big places come up,
Yeah. I've
type of
never played
thing.
Madison Square Garden. I
Well,
would love to do that.
this might be the time. A lot of artists say that. That's still the dream for a lot of people to
Oh,
play that.
Trickster. My buddies in
Yeah,
Trickster, they played Madison Square Garden. No, what
yeah.
happened? Anyway, um, January, February. I've said Europe before, but recently now they're going for USA, January,
Mhm.
February, March, April, Europe, and May, South America. And then I think that's it because everybody else has other plans too. They have to
You
go
guys
on
are so
with their
busy.
life. Winery
Yeah,
dogs, winery dogs are kicking ass. I'm a champion
they're,
of
no, I
Richie
love them too.
Kotzen and Billy Sheehan. I don't know Mike Portnoy very well. I met him once at a charity event for a guy named David Z, who
Mhm.
passed away, and I played in New York. He was a really nice guy, but it was a weird moment because he really loved this guy, and he was near tears, and he was earlier in the day, Mike Portnoy, and I'm not telling stories out of school. I mean,
No, no.
I respect the drummer very, very much. I don't know him as a person that well, but he was going through some sad moments because his friend passed,
Yeah.
and he goes, I haven't drank. I don't drink, basically. And he's doing shots of vodka, and I'm going, yeah. And he's like getting loopy. And I hear that he's very like stern guy and totally into the drums
Yeah.
and rock and roll and everything. And sometimes he loosens up, but man, he was loosening up. He was loose that night. But he was going through some super sadness, and I totally get that. So I don't know him, but I'm a major champion, or if that's the right word. I'm in the corner of a great champion, Richie Kotzen and Billy Sheehan, of course. Winery Dogs' last album, or the new album, there was this one song came out, Xanadu, and I was like, oh wow, wait, it's just overwhelming to me with so many
Yeah.
notes, and I couldn't get into that. But there was this one song called Mad World that I was a super fan of, and another one, Lorelei, or something like that. I love that. Red Wine is a song. There was a
It's
song.
good.
It's a pretty goddamn great
Yeah, it's
album.
great.
And live, they are kicking ass, man. I just wrote Richie yesterday, asked him what kind of in-ears he uses. I just got my in-ears. Can't see the address. Don't look at the address.
I
Don't
don't have
look
the technology to blur it. So
three three sets of in-ears in here from Ultimate Ears, my company.
good plug. Good plug.
Yeah,
Good plug.
I've been with them since the way beginning. I mean, decades. Anyway, yeah, I'm at a loss for words right now because
Well, you had a
we're
couple
doing
thoughts
this.
going on with the tour.
Go ahead.
You're championing them, is what you're saying with Kotzen and them, which is great because Kotzen can bring us back to one thing though. Will he come and play any shows with you guys at the end?
No. It's not
Wow,
like
that was the fastest shutdown you've ever done.
no, because I asked
It just
already.
feels like because on the reunion, like the was it the
No.
show for
This is
Pat and stuff, you guys all kind of played, and
no, this is mainly we did our tribute,
I
all
get
of
it.
us together with Richie and um all the people that knew Pat as well. And we did our tribute there a few years ago. No, this one is the OG Mr. Big. This is the Paul Gilbert, Billy Sheehan, Eric Martin, Spirit of Pat Torpey, new touring drummer, Nick DiVirgilio. And that's first time I said it correctly.
Well said. I've liked him from Spock Spirits. I've actually had some of those guys on, so I actually like the band. They're a good band. So I'm excited to hear that news. I was like, really? I didn't see that one coming, but I was pleased because I know of his work and fantastic drummer.
He's played with Paul. He's played with Paul, and you know, I've done some interviews, and I haven't really talked about Nick that much because look, 5 days from now, I'm going to go rehearse come and see us in Indiana.
Yeah.
And I'm going to Indiana.
No, I know. I'm laughing at the end of me actually traveling. Please.
Yeah. Try to find me in Indiana. Yeah. No, with Mr. Big. And this is the first time I'm going to meet Nick. I haven't met him. I haven't even the Zoom calls that we've done, it's just me, Billy, and Paul. I haven't even met him. Like, I'm going to walk in and Billy and Nick are going to be working on some tunes the day before I get there.
Right.
And look, I've heard some stuff that he did. Hey, I don't know if I talked to you about this, but when his audition tape was, okay, I feel like I'm talking out of school right now, and I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm getting more in trouble with me because.
Sure.
No. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Hey, cat's out of the bag now, baby. No, I'm talking about me as far as a performer or a man, you know.
Yeah.
Where we're doing the whole Lean Into It album in its entirety, right? And Daddy Brother, Alive and Kick, Just Take My Heart, To Be With You, Little Too Loose, Road to Ruin. Easy, right? For me.
Yeah, right.
But the big three, oh, fuck. Never Say Never. Holy shit. I mean, I'm talking about hot, vocal.
Yeah, frequency. Yeah, notes.
Never Say Never. My Kind of Woman. I don't know if you ever heard that before, but it's fucking super up in the clouds.
Yep.
And then the killer is Lucky This Time. I haven't done that song for a reason for almost 30 years. Maybe 25 years, because it is ridiculously up in the. I mean, I think I'm tuned down a half step, but it's like. It's such a fucking high. So it's high and tight. You know what I'm saying? So,
even tuned down.
Well, Paul, even tuned down. I mean, and that's only a half step. I mean, the song was felt like it was when I was singing it, it was effortless. But then over the years, I go, are you in D sharp? I mean, it was kind of crazy, and I'm not Michael Sweet. I've never been, I'd love to have been Glenn Hughes or God, what was the great guy, Brad Delp. I'm not those guys, and I don't have that.
The high register lasts forever. I mean, you're still
Steve Perry, holy shit! That kind of voice. I have a tenor voice, and I used to just push it, and it would work. If I would be on the road a long, long time, it would work, and it was great. But anyway, these particular songs, Paul goes, okay, well, I'll change the key, and we'll make it work. So he kind of changed the key, and because he was sending Lucky This Time, Never Say Never, and My Kind of Woman, I think, to Nick to play to basically audition. And Paul sent him he sent me like the lower keys to give to me, and he goes, how will this work, Eric, to be comfortable? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll try it, and it was still kind of high, but I'm doing it. And he sent the same thing to Nick. And what Nick did, fucking hey, talk about stepping up. What Nick did was, so he played drums to it.
Right.
And we wanted to hear his vocal too. I mean, like, there's a lot of great drummers out there that were one or two that were considered, and they had to sing, they had, like Pat Torpey.
Right.
So we wanted to hear Nick's voice. And what Nick did was, like, he played the drums to this Lucky This Time, and maybe Never Say Never, mainly Lucky. But he sang the lead vocal right? And then he sang the harmony, all the harmonies with it. It was like, dude, here's the keys to the Mr. Big boss room. You know, he was great. He was great. I almost kind of went, hey, like what you talking about, Willis? I mean, he was fucking he's a great singer. I mean, in
Yeah.
Spock's Beard, he kicks ass, man. I mean,
Yeah.
good tone, really, really good tone. Like a Pat Torpey, you know, Pat had a Paul McCartney kind of voice, really warm,
They
good
warm.
confidence, not a lot of, you know, vibratos and weird soul mix, you know, crazy mix like I do. But this guy can definitely sing. And with him and then with the way Paul sings and Billy, it's gonna capture the good sound of Mr. Big. I mean, Green Ticket 60's Mind is gonna be off the chain. It's gonna be
Well, it's
good.
important. I mean, you gotta have a singer. I mean, you can sing, but that doesn't mean you're gonna blend with everybody else. You mean you gotta have the right voice has to go in because it's another instrument and it can't be
Oh,
the same or similar as yours. It's like having two guitars. It's like when you have a guitar with two bands, you can't play the same. Well, you can, but it sounds horrible. The same guitar, the same amp, and you're cutting into each other. You need to offset it, otherwise, why do it?
well, if you're a lead singer, I'm a lead singer that I can sing harmonies. Not a lot of us can do it. Um, but you got like when we got Richie Kotzen in the band, he was a lead singer, man. He didn't do harmonies. He might have sang a little bit of Unskinny Bop or bullshit like shit with Poison or who knows what those songs are. And but we did our couple warm-up shows in San Francisco, and you know, we're up there in the front going la, 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 la. And we're looking back and Richie's supposed to be singing with us, but he's having a cigarette and he's got a glass of Jack Daniels. What? What? You got what? I remember that gig. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be saying, and then, that's when we started doing it, started practicing.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. He'd be like, oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. Yeah, you know, and not that Teddy
Over the top.
Pendergrass, but he'd do his Richie Kotzen thing. All these screams, I'm like, dude, you gotta sing a harmony. You gotta fit in. You gotta make me look good,
It's just
basically.
supporting actor, right? You know, you are the
But
lead in that.
but I think Nick has the type of voice like Pat Torpey where he could just blend in perfectly. And look, he's a great drummer. I mean, I didn't know anything about him, and I heard Paul mention Spock's Beard a million times. I'm like, Spock's Beard.
I
And I
think
was
it's a
like,
great name for a band too.
oh no, I did. I'm not a prog guy. I mean, I played songs by Yes and Genesis when I was younger,
Yeah,
and I did like Rush, but you
I hope
know,
so. I mean,
that was
they were pretty good.
for
They were pretty good to with you guys on the tour, so
oh
you should
yeah.
love Rush. You
Yeah,
should love Rush
no,
at least.
I do love Rush. I
I
as
know.
people and great players and but anyway, uh, but I wasn't.
So it's like one of those like 90 days and married thing, or like you married at first sight. So you're literally going to be doing this married at first sight when you first see them. You're going to be getting ready to go out, and you've never played with them.
I'm
You know?
I'm okay with that. I like blind dates. I'm good.
Yeah. I think he's going to be fine if the musicians are fine with him. I'm just surprised when I first heard that. You're like, I think I saw an interview, and you're like, yeah, I haven't met him yet. I haven't even not really texted much with him.
I haven't met him. I'm about ready to sneeze in a minute, but I haven't met him. But I saw him on like some video, and he's like, he's kind of a he's got a little bit of a funny, you know, uh clownish kind of thing going on sometimes, which puts a lot of people at ease. For me, I like that. You know, it just seems like a really super nice guy.
It's gonna. I think it's gonna be awesome. Are you guys doing anything a tribute though, like to Pat, like a song or something, kind of not
I,
to bring the audience down, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, you guys always carry the torch of his memory,
I don't know yet. I don't know. It's all we have our set list, and
which is
it's fun.
is it the album in order too?
No, yeah, the whole album. Lean into it in order, right?
Really?
And about hold on, and about 10 13 more songs. I mean,
Really?
it's a long night of love. But are we going to do any tribute thing? The last tour that we did with Pat wrote a song called East West. And we did, and me and Pat sang that together. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's a couple little things that Paul will come up with something great, and we'll come up with it. There's probably some speeches, maybe some little videos and stuff about him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a dedication to Pat. We're also going to do I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it now, but I don't see why not. We're doing like a charity thing for Pat. We're gonna auction off his drum set, the drum that he played on last tour, and the tribute to Pat.
Cocktail set, like type of thing. His
No,
drum set, the whole thing, the real set.
Yeah, full on set. Not the original blue one. His wife has that one, but Karen Torpy, Pat's wife, is coming to Japan with us, and she's going to have a little, we'll be doing some promo and conference, things, and she may come on. I don't know. She's pretty shy. I mean, she might come on stage, maybe. I hope so. She's such a beautiful lady and nice person and everything. And yeah, and the whole, so Karen and Patrick Jr. are coming as well as Mrs. Gilbert, Mrs. Sheehan. I'm trying to get my kids to go, but they're going to college pretty soon, so I don't know.
I would think I'd rather go to Japan.
I might be empty-handed, but I'll have the love of the Asian brothers and sisters.
That's all you need, right? That's all you need. Well, you tour a lot, though. That's the thing and the other thing is you tour with your big acoustic thing sometimes with guys from Trickster. You do Avantasia, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
I just did all that, Sean, man.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're always touring with something. So
year and a half already.
Right. So how's that going? So with Avantasia, is it because it's like two different bands, right? And then they set it up. Now, would you do Mr. Big? Is it like you're off that list of songs and they just kind of, it's like a moving thing where they put another singer in that spot type of deal, or
for Avantasia?
Yeah, because like you sing, you got your gig there with them sometimes, right? And then
I
don't follow them as a tour. I don't follow that band.
Unbelievable.
I've heard them, but I just haven't. There's too much music.
German power metal band, 6 singers. Jeff Tate he hasn't done it in a couple of years, but he was part of it. Michael Kiske was part of it. Halloween. This guy Ronnie Atkins from Pretty Maids, fucking great rock and roll band. Bob Catley from Magnum, Prague Central, great rock and roll. Jorn Lande, great singer. Adrian Cowan, kind of a metal thing. Her band Seven Spires, I think it's Spears. I don't know. And Herbie Langens, Oliver Hartman, Sasha Paeth, producer and great guitar player, producer for all those German kind of bands, Creator and Avantasia. Anyway, it's the main guy, Tobias Sammet, was in a German heavy metal band called Ed Guy. That's kind of a Lynyrd Skynyrd kind of thing too. Ed Guy. I go, who's Ed Guy? And he goes, we had a gym teacher named Ed. And I go, what's his last name? And I go, Ed Guy. He was a guy. His name was Ed. And it was one of those things. So, but it was a really good rock and roll band. Anyway, he wrote this whole concept of Avantasia with all kinds of heaven and hell and Middle Earth kind of thing. I'm probably getting it completely wrong, but a lot of biblical connotations. But anyway, every one of us has like 5 or 6 songs. It's been cut down because there's so many people. I had 5 songs last time. So I was just in South America with Avantasia. Winery Dogs were on a couple of the shows that I did too. Like played a festival called Summer Breeze in South America. 60,000 people. Winery Dogs played before us and they were killer. But Yeah, it's not in my wheelhouse at all, but it has been. I'm really comfortable with it now. I've never done like heavy metal kind of stuff. Like rock, Mr. Big is just kind of edgy, hard rock and roll, screaming sometimes,
Oh,
but
the other
yeah,
band that
there
you
are
did,
some moments of kind of
Takasumoto or
metal.
whatever, right? That was your metal band, wasn't it? Takasumoto, or I think.
Talk Matsumoto, not a
Thank you.
heavy metal band. No,
Really, you don't think so?
TMG. I just got a call from them too. They want to do something coming up.
Oh,
TMG might be coming back. So, I mean, close to coming back.
so good.
70% coming back with me, Jack Blades, and Chris Frazier, Tak Matsumoto. Oh, it may happen. 70%, maybe 75%. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, not heavy metal though, more just louder, bigger, epic, melodic rock. Kind of like a Mr. Big, but not. Not, I mean, multiple Budokan. I mean, the guy's so, I mean, he's in the band Bees, B apostrophe Z.
Yeah.
Buddy's favorite son, basically 90 million records sold, you know, that kind of guy. I mean, Mr. Big, you can't even see it in the screen. Tak Matsumoto, TMG. If you can see, you can't see it, folks. It's way the frick up there. Anyway, where the hell am I? So Avantasia, great rock and roll band, but like heavy metal. But they call it symphonic heavy metal because it's keyboards, but it's heavy. But double bass drum going fast. Everybody's like singing really fast and like hands going up, a lot of this. And in the beginning, I went, oh, man, this feels so contrived. Yeah, I felt like I was, you know, I was forcing myself to do this, but man, it's theater basically, and I love it. I love it. I'm playing with people that I would never play with before. Megadeth and Testament and Slayer and trust me, I'm not. I haven't been on a bill with Metallica, but like Kiss and played all the festival. Played Hellfest, the biggest heavy metal festival in the world, 4 times. Headlined 3 times. Once with Mr. Big, but yeah, I played with Avantasia. It was like 90,000 people. It was literally 90,000 people sold out.
How do you
And
do that? Like, it's gotta be hard. I can't imagine 20,000, but like 90,000 is like,
sneeze. Oh,
Gesundheit.
I can hear. I can hear. How do you do it? God, man.
Gotta be
Oh
nerve
my
wracking.
God. Got a stomach. It's like monarch butterflies in your stomach. I mean, it's so scary. And you're the stage is so huge, and you feel like I can't run this. I can't even walk this, right? It's like a tarmac. Like United Airplane, you know,
Yeah.
ready to take off. It's so huge. And the band's got about 12 people in it, but we look like the Beatles playing this, you know, it's like a huge stadium and stage. But anyway, and I'm winded already because I'm out of breath. But man, it just kicks in. It's just so amazing. And then you don't I play to the cameras now a little bit, you know, because I used to see the cameras and it would like bother me. It'd be like all these video cameras going around. I'm like singing these, yeah, not singing balls to the wall, and then camera, and then I watch it later and like all these angles, and I go, God, I wish I would have suck it in on that moment when they came on the side. I tell that's a sidebar. Every time I do a photo session, and I've been doing the same kind of thing for years in different languages, you know, with translators, but I go, okay, uno, dos, suck it in, tres. You know. Anyway, yeah, Avantasia, heavy metal, almost 7 years with them, and the acoustic stuff, yeah, and And then the Trickster guys kind of back me up a little bit, but on acoustic, but now they've ventured off into their own world too, because now the Mr. Big has got this couple of years of,
Right.
or 6 months of, I don't know, of touring. Steve Brown and PJ Farley, and then our percussionist Ben Hands are doing their thing. Mine was called Big Acoustic, and theirs is like Acoustic Trickster. Anyway, you know what? And they're good. Fuck, I wanted them to fail. No, no. And because we bust balls constantly. I don't want them to fail. I can't say it. I can't say it.
I know Fonzie. I know Fonzie. You got it in you. It's they're
I mean,
great.
those guys are sweet. They're great. They keep me in stitches. I love those guys from the way back.
I know he's on schedule too for one song a year. I think he told me he was on not long ago too. He came back to do a new single that he did. He's doing one song a year. I'm like, it's gonna take you 10 years to do an album. He's like, yeah.
Oh God, I've been threatening to do a solo album for years, but
Yeah, that actually is a good question too. I actually gonna.
why do it? Nobody gives a shit anyway. Only a handful of you. All you really want, you know what? Every other show, I don't know if it's alcohol related, but every other show, I'm like, just to be the next to be with you. And I'm talking to the audience, and there's always some idiot coming up going, hey, could you play To Be With You? Nobody gives a shit about a new song. They just want to hear that hit or Just Take My Heart, whatever.
Well, I think you have some good albums. I think some of your earlier stuff is neat because I think one of the things that's great about you is you have such a wide variety of songs where it's like your first album's very, very much reflective of like the Eric Martin band, the 80s rock. But then you also have the 90s sound. Like you've always written to the times in a way, and not to be placating it, but in a way that you're, as a songwriter, you're taking in what you're hearing and you're writing to the times. That's what I hear. I could be wrong. That's a crazy look. That makes me anxious.
Yeah. No,
That's how I hear. Maybe you're just trying to find.
I have so many of these guys that I played with over the last 5-6 years that I could really, I want to reach out to them, like the Damon Johnsons and Oliver Hartman from Avantasia, to help me write a solo record. Have I mentioned this guy, Mike Varney?
I think he's last time.
He hasn't been in the limelight in a while. He never liked the limelight anyway, but he's a producer, produced a lot of UFO records. Mm-hmm. And he is a kind of a guitar player headhunter back in the day. He discovered Paul Gilbert, Richie Kotzen, Greg Howe, Michael Lee Firkins. There's a big list. I know there's guitar players out there that may even go, all right, let's hear what this singer has to say. Yeah, they don't give a shit. But I hope Mike Varney has discovered a lot of guitar players, and he produced a lot of acts, but he also had a label called Shrapnel Records. And it was like, it was kind of like the first heavy metal. He would sell it online when it first kind of came, and through magazines and stuff. Anyway, probably not saying it right, but he is a really good friend of mine from the Wayback Machine. He was a bass player for a band called the Nuns, a guitar player. And I was in a band called Kid Courage, and I've known him since I was like 18 years old. Anyway, he introduced me to Billy Sheehan and Paul Gilbert, and that he's the one who got Mr. Big together. Anyway, he recently, the last couple of years, said, I want to do a blues record with you, because he also had a blues label too, Blues Authority, I think. And we wanted to get all these, well, I'm all over the place, but me and the Trickster guys played in Las Vegas, where Mike's from. And Mike brought this guy, killer drummer named Jeff Totoro, that I played with before, and a couple other guys. And they did the song a Mr. Big song called Price You Gotta Pay, which is kind of a blues rock song. And I go, hey, we're going to take a little break. Me and the Tricksters, they're going to go upstairs and get, on the rider, it's like Crown Royal. I can't drink that shit. So they're up there pounding away. And I played one song at Vamp in Las Vegas, one song, and it blew my mind. I was like, no offense to Steve and PJ and Joey Casada, who also played with us, great drummer. I went, holy shit, this is a great rock and roll. This is a great blues rock band. And that was a few years ago. But that's what I'd like to pursue. That I'd like to do a really good blues rock album, not necessarily tour on it, which I love touring.
Right, no, but that's what
I
I
want to
meant.
see how it does. I want to see how it does and throw it out there. Who knows if anybody's gonna buy that shit from me?
You do it because you want songs. I mean, you start off by saying who wants to do it? No, but I mean, you ended by saying you really want to do it.
Well, I'm on the fence because everybody, I've done things where I've even pulled out old songs from the past, even rare Mr. Big songs that nobody's ever heard of or heard live before, and I'll play it. People are like, talking, and I see, I can see it out in the audience, but I can barely see it. Hello, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't tell you that's a thing. I don't know. I right now, I'm in the process of writing for a Mr. Big record.
There we go.
Possibly.
So,
Possibly. I mean, like everybody, look, it's all about logistics and timing, and if everybody's available, and winery.
when would that be done? Like, when would you do that? On
What?
tour? Or when would you do that? After the tour? During the tour? Like, when would you guys?
No, we got. Hey, look, the way it looks on my calendar, July and August is Asia, the Mr. Big tour. Okay, then you got September, October, November. At the end of November and December, I got another project. I'll tell you about it later. Nothing to do with rock, but so those 3 months could possibly. But I looked at Billy Sheehan's schedule, and he's got shitloads of Winery Dogs gigs, back to back to back to back. I wrote Richie yesterday, and I said, what in-ears do you? But I compliment him right off the bat. I go, how do you sing like that every night and back to back shows? And he goes, well, you do it. I'm like, nope, I don't do that. I can't do that anymore. Nope, can't do it. I mean, you see on the dates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 day off. I'm like, what are you, a machine? I mean, it can't be, because he has that kind of falsetto thing,
Right.
I just can't. That would burn out to me too, and it has. I mean, back in the day, I used to do this weird scream with Mr. Big. I'd be like really higher than that, really, and like every live record crack. And if you can sing really high and scream really high, people, for some reason, from the 80s, if you were in the 80s and you're still around, you're like, yeah, motherfucker. It's amazing. Can't do that anymore. Burned out beyond belief. Did it so much. This dog doesn't bark anymore on that front. But Richie, man, how do you do it? I go, because I think he does anything he wants. He has that kind of metabolism.
Maybe that's why. Does he talk at all? Is he quieter during the day? Maybe he saves his voice.
Yeah, he never talks.
He
talks. He's a sweetheart, but not during the day. He's like, sup.
I feel like he's a very chill person, so maybe you talk more than you. You
know what? Sean, that's my problem. Yippity yappity yappity all day long. After the show, I'm like, oh God, my throat kind of scratchy. And I go, Eric, can I get an autograph? There's no business like fuck my ego. And then I yap it away, and I go, I remember I could hear Pat Torvey going, Eric, shut the bus door. We got to go. It's snowing, freezing outside. Your hair's wet. And I go, it's a myth. You should come inside. He's protecting his property, he's protecting his, and I'm like, come on, man, whatever. And I go, Billy, another glass of wine? You're sure thing, little buddy. Glug, 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 glug. This is the part, like, if people are old enough to remember, in the cartoons, this is where I would turn into a donkey head or a lollipop sucker. Be like,
Wow.
like an idiot, just party too much and talk too much.
But
Not so far, so good. Now I'm off the sauce again, and
how's that working for you?
it's fine. Before I went 11 months and I was like chomping at the bit. Oh God. And I'm looking at the calendar, X. Now I'm just over it. I'm over it.
I think if you're
I'm
always paying attention, thinking
Right.
about it, and counting it and announcing it, I think that's when it's on your mind all the time. I think if you just do it or you don't do it, it's less in front of you.
I'm more, yeah. And I don't want to think about it, and sometimes if it only happens, I can't believe I'm telling everybody in the world what's happening with me. Well, it's when you, like, say if you do like for me, I'll sing on somebody's record, or I'll do some background vocals on something, and I'm so excited and I feel really good about myself. And I come home and I'm like, I can reward myself with a couple shots or beers or something. And that's how it starts, So yeah, I'm super focused in doing a great job. It's not that long of a tour, really.
No.
I mean, I know, and it's a great thank you, management, for listening to me. I'm not Richie. I'm not the machine that sings for Winery Dogs, The shows are like, one show, couple days off, 2 shows, it's awesome. It's a Rolling Stones type of tour.
Nice.
And yeah, man, hey, it's good for the people. You're going to get 100% of me every night. Not like, I wonder what kind of singing mood he's in, right? And yeah, I mean, when I'm on the road and I'm, if I can get through the good 5 shows,
Yeah.
which I will, because it's kind of cushy in this particular tour. I know in January and February, I saw some of those couple dates and stuff, and I'm like, hey, Tim's our manager, Tim Heine, great guy. You can do this now. So after 5 shows, I'm pretty set. It's all locked in, all the gravel, and the Japanese folks, they call me, and they go, your husky voice, husky, white fact. Anyway, this is Billy Sheehan thing. He used to do this all the time. I'm not getting this right. He goes, and I go, what are you doing? He goes, hey, how you doing? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm doing that. I can't wait. To see some new shit.
I'm
Oh
looking
man,
forward to
I haven't been in a room with Billy and Paul since the Pat Torpey tribute.
Wow.
5 years ago. And I've talked to Billy on the phone, and we text all the time, keeping the fire lit. I have been contacting Paul back and forth, writing, say no more. and and Nick's my blind date.
Yeah. Very first sight.
On Saturday
Exciting.
in Indiana.
Awesome. This is great. I want to thank you, man.
Go. What?
I want to thank you. This has been pretty awesome.
I want to thank you for cutting your hair, man. In my eyes right now, hold on. You are the most beautiful blonde. Oh,
Gray haired.
it looks blonde with that light.
I know. It depends on how it hits you.
And it's kind of a gray and black thing. That would look at this bird's nest. I'm letting it grow. This is you know what? We talked about this earlier. This is 3 months. It takes a while for it to grow over the years, right? This is 3 months of growing it because I had super short like you.
Yeah.
And so I'm in Dick City right now. I'm thinking, do I cut my hair today or do I go through the Japanese tour and China and Indonesia and Thailand, Singapore, the whole thing, Kuala Lumpur, all that kind of thing in Dick City mode? And
You have
like
very
Tom
curly hair though.
like
You have really curly hair, and the humidity is just going to make it be like a perm.
yeah. It's not, I have natural curly hair when it gets really long. I've always had it, but see some of the videos, it's real. But I'll have to sleep with a net, fish net, shells. Anyway, hey,
That's
is there
awesome.
any other kind of? I thought you were going to ask some kind of question that did I already say? Sure. Hey, it's our farewell tour, our
Yes.
big finish. You don't think I didn't mention to the guys, hey, we should do a record? I mean, are you high? Let's do it all before we have to.
Well, the thing is with the record,
Oh,
that's what I thought. I thought that.
and Mr. Big was loved by all, and the dust comes up. That was a good book, and put it up in the shelf.
Well, the thing is, Billy had an issue with the last. You guys kind of rushed on that last album, and Billy was not happy with the production. So I didn't know if he wanted to go back into the world of another quick record or where everybody's
I
minds were at.
I said the same thing. Nobody listened to me.
See?
Yeah, there was I didn't like it at first, but I liked the song 1992.
Well, I love that song. That's like the best song.
I know. It's the best thing. I wrote a couple songs on it. They were stinkers that had some great moments, though. Great. Yeah, my God. I wonder if I could plagiarize my own lyrics and bring them into another song. No, I can't do it. Can't do it. But there were a couple songs on there that should have had a little bit more pre-production and arrangement ish and things and lyrical content. I didn't care for at all. It was rushed. Kevin Elson, our beloved producer, he had gigs with another group on the table. Paul had to go leave to do some clinic thing. Billy was around, but he was going to go do something. It was probably Sons of Apollo. And I'm like, God damn it. That's what I said. I said, God damn it. Why does it feel like we're rushed? Even when we did that, there's a video that was like, hey, the making of Defying Gravity. How do you feel about the new record, Eric? And I go, I just got here 5 minutes ago. And you're going to talk, Anyway, when that video came in and I'm doing the interview, I was super anxious and anxiety, Paul had just given me, because I wrote a song called 1992 and it's about the band and, it's not about the girl that I once knew, put her in a song with some greens and blues. Get it, Eric? Greens and blues to be with you. I'm like, all right, all right. Let me hear the song. And then it was all chock full of the Mr. Big type of harmonies, almost kind of prog pop kind of song. And I just got it, just sang it. And then the video is in my freaking face, man. So yeah, everything felt rushed. And I agree with Billy. I'm glad that he, in that video that my partner, he goes, yeah, the record's going good, because it was for the video. Not me, man. I don't give a shit, man. I'm like, they go, Eric, give us your honest answer. I'm like, I'm not acting here. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is, man. That's the way it's always been on the Sean Ratches show. On the Sean Ratches.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I'd love to see you guys do an album that you guys feel good about. You can take your time and do, or at least feel comfortable releasing. One of your last. So here's your last hurrah. You figure you want to end on a higher note.
That was another one of my names that, like, I go, how about the last hurrah? And they're like, no. And I'm like, come on. And I go, the big finish. Everybody came up with like names. What kind of thing? And if Paul's was like, just like, the megalomaniac. No, I don't remember what he said. Godzilla. It was like,
well, if you know his album titles are pretty funny. He's got a great combination.
Yeah. Live at the Beehive. Come on.
Yes.
King of
He's great.
Clubs. I mean, he comes up with some pretty cool stuff. Um, but all I had was like Last Hurrah and Big Finish, and I kept putting him different fonts when we'd like send emails. I go,
Yeah.
or this one, Big Finish, and like, yeah, I could see what you're trying to do, and then we kept going. I never pushed something so much, and then I
You
pushed.
wore him down like a 5-year-old.
I totally did. I was like, I want it. I want it. Can I have that? Can I have that? Can I have it? Yes, here.
Fine, fine.
Cotton candy. Anyway, but yeah, the Big Finish. All those other years, there might have been talk of like, hey, maybe we should do a farewell tour, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to break up the band, but like now it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
It's not breaking up the band. It's like, look, it's time. Anyway, kids,
Good tour.
Sean, it's been great.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you very
lot
much.
letting
We'll
me
do this
have
again.
my crazy moments and talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Maybe we'll do it again in another 5 years, 2 years, 3, 5 years.
Come on, man. Come on. We can do it. I promise you. I
We'll do
promise.
it sooner. We'll do it sooner than later.
After Asia, we'll do this again.
The tour, not the band.
Right after, yeah. John Wetton, rest his soul. I played with that guy.
That's after Asia. Right.
After the Asian tour, the Big Finish, Mr. Big Tour of Asia, we will have a little conversation. Okay.
All right.
By then I'll be like, yeah, come on, brother. I'll be like Phil Anselmo. I'll be like, hey, brother, it's gonna be fucking, yeah, man.
That will be great. All right. Thank you, Eric. You have a good day, man. Thanks,
All right,
man.
bro. See
Okay,
ya.
bye. Bye-bye.